this video, we have an NPN bipolar junction transistor here wired as an emitter follower. That's because the load is on the emitter side. They're going to ground. This is actually just an extra resistor there to help maintain the voltage across the load if we need it. But that voltage is going to be the base voltage, which we set with a Zener diode. So this is a fixed voltage even as we change the supply voltage. If it tries to raise the base voltage above 5.6 volts, whatever current gets through, it just goes to ground. So it just lets current go through at 5.6 volts, extra current goes to ground. Hopefully that makes sense. But in case that 5.6 volts is at the base, you got the base to emitter drop, you lose about 0.6 volts. So we have 5 volts out here that's set. So because we have the Zener diode. So it's basically a regulator. We looked at a voltage regulator integrated circuit in the last video. Here we just made one with an NPN bipolar junction transistor. Really easy to do right there. We just put the supply voltage directly to the collector, and it should be a couple volts higher or even higher than that. Doesn't really matter. You have a pretty fixed voltage coming out. So now we got the multimeter. We'll set it to measure voltage. Power supply is 7 volts. Another thing to notice is 13 milliamps of current right there. That's about what we should get when we are protecting a red LED there from 5 volts with the 220 ohm resistor. I have the probes backwards. That's the problem. But you can see it was negative 7 volts. And there we go. We'll get it the correct way. Doesn't matter if you measure backwards. You just get a negative voltage. Doesn't hurt anything. And so across the LED and the resistor there is a little less than 5 volts right there. We can come to the base over here and see it's about 0.6 volts higher, approximately there. Now we're going to bump up the power supply voltage to 20 volts, and current may go up a little bit right there, but it's still really close to the same, and we will come back. What matters most is what's across the load. So we'll check the supply voltage, and there you can see just a speck below 20 volts. There's a little resistance in the wires and stuff. And there we go. Across the load and this 1K resistor, we are actually closing in on 5 volts. This is a lot of power that the transistor has to dissipate because we got the 5.6 volts there, and then about 5 volts right there. And we have about 15 volts across the transistor. It's getting pretty warm, so I am going to drop this down to at least 10 right away. I was really only intending to go up to 15 volts. I forgot I was doing 20 in the last video. But I don't think we heard anything. I think the transistor was fine because of how low the current we're using, but it still warm up quite a bit. When they get warmer, they start conducting better. That's the problem with thermal runaway. This probably would have settled at some point, but maybe thermal runaway would have kicked in where it would have just started conducting better and overpowered the load and everything. But in any case, let's make sure we turn the meter off. And now we'll get a closer look at the circuit and the schematic, the diagram I drew together. We have a 2N3904 here, NPN bipolar junction transistor, collector on top, base in the middle, and emitter on the bottom. Doesn't matter what NPN bipolar junction transistor you use for the circuit. Higher wattage one would be even better when you get the higher voltages. There we got our base going to our Zener voltage right here. So that's a reverse bias Zener diode. The cathode is more positive. The anode is more negative. It passes current while it's reverse biased safely as long as you don't exceed its wattage rating. A lot of diodes cannot do that. But in any case, that's its Zener voltage. It's a 5.6 volt Zener diode. Then we got our emitter. Again, as I said, this resistor helps us hold the voltage. You can see the load there. Long lead of the LED, the anode, more positive. Short lead, the cathode, more negative. These definitely fry right away if you put any current through them, reverse bias from my testing. But in any case, the LED has a voltage drop, which may throw off the emitter voltage a little bit. I did circuits where there was a lot more voltage drops involved, and it looks like the emitter stopped seeing like where ground was, and so it wasn't outputting, you know, 0.6 volts less than the base anymore. And so I think we're perfectly fine with this. Maybe throwing off a spec or something, and maybe it'd be just fine without this resistor. But this resistor definitely gives a little path to ground. So the emitter senses where ground is pretty much no matter what a load is doing over here. So a lot of times you can get away without it, probably most of the time I would think, but it doesn't hurt to just throw it in there. So that value doesn't really matter, but 10K doesn't take a lot of current, and definitely make sure it senses where that is. So as I said, voltage has to be higher than the 5 volts out here. A couple volts is pretty good. I would actually limit to 15 volts in this circuit, even though I did 20 with my example. That was by accident. Last video, I had a better component for going to 20 volts. It was just a 5 volt regulator right there. So we made a 5 volt regulator here. It looked exactly the same as that. I put a little capacitor on it though. But it was like a transistor in the TO92 package like this one. And it's not a transistor, it just outputs a voltage. It does have a ground pin, and so it's actually 5 volts above that ground pin, so it's a little bit like this. But this is 0.6 volts less. That one, from the ground pin, it's 5 volts more. So you could put a voltage on there and raise it even more. But in any case, we can just throw it together with the transistor instead of having to get a voltage regulator that 5 volts out. We could use different value Zener diodes here. So I could have like a 7.6, and then we'd have 7 volts out, and like a 9.6, a lot of them are 0.6 for that reason, have 9 volts out. And I could have just 3 transistors where their anodes are going to ground, and a little jumper where I can select between them, or a little dial switch if you have one of those to change the output. So that is the fun of electronics. You can take a simple circuit fragment right there, maybe expand them a little bit or whatever, but you just attach them to other circuit fragments and you got a completely different circuit. And so it's pretty fun to think of that stuff and build it. But in case this went on long enough, thanks for watching.